It's an honor to be with you all today. I want to start by thanking the board and administration of Providence Christian College for extending the invitation to me to deliver this commencement address. And of course, I wish to offer the 2022 graduates my heartfelt congratulations. I know this is a special day for you all, your family, your friends, and your loved ones. It's my pleasure to be here sharing this moment with you. I do not know the extent to which the interruption of your college careers by the pandemic, and particularly much of the civic response to the pandemic, has impacted you all. I can only imagine. I do know, though, that I'm sorry, and I'm excited that you're here today and that this moment has arrived. I chose to title my speech today, A Truly Human Moment, for reasons that will soon be more apparent. But as for this exact moment and what this hour of your lives represents, I sincerely hope it will be memorable and exciting. We diminish the ceremonial moments of our lives to our own detriment, and I pray this will remain undiminished for you in what it represents as a new beginning and some other beginning's end. I have given a grand total of 2 commencement speeches in my life, one 4 years ago at Pacifica Christian High School in Orange County, where I'm a founding trustee, and another in 2020 at a small Christian college, this one in Idaho. So let's just say that I am deeply aligned with the mission and vision of all 3 of the institutions I have now commenced. Yet the topic I'm speaking to you on today is most certainly the one I have the most passion for. The topics I selected in 2018 and 2020 were appropriate at the time, but this topic I'm selecting today is not merely entirely appropriate for 2022, but may very well be the single issue on which the survival of your generation depends. I do not mean survival in terms of a scientific or biological pulse, but rather survival as in living, really living, which is to say, living as God designed you to live. There is a significant movement afoot in 2022 to denigrate work. This movement is not only secular, but it is pagan. It is not limited to the world, the media, the unsaved, or the lost. It is, in fact, though, creating more lost. It is a distinctly unchristian cultural phenomena that is extremely popular in Christian circles. I'm going to repeat that line again. It is a distinctly unchristian cultural phenomena that is extremely popular in Christian circles. And it is the subject I wish to address this morning as we ceremonially recognize your transition from higher education to young adult life. I run an investment firm by day and have studied and published economic commentary for over 25 years, so it may seem that my interest in contemporary labor data is merely professional. But I will tell you from the bottom of my heart that the angst I feel for 1.2 million people having voluntarily left the workforce since 2020 and 3.5 million less than trendline people being in the workforce today breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I care about the human person, and I believe the human person was created to work. The data today is not merely concerning in how many have left the workforce, meaning not working and not looking for a job, but it is concerning for how many dislike their jobs. It is concerning for how many work but wish they weren't working. It is concerning for how many lack fulfillment or flourishing in their daily endeavors. If I were giving an economic or markets talk today, I would focus on what this means for productivity or for stagnation, for the output gap, for the supply chain, for wages, for inflation, for any number of things that do have real-world economic impact. But this is a commencement address to college graduates, and I am not here to talk econometrics. But that is not because economics is normally about data and numbers, and today I'm here to talk inspiration, devotion, and humanity. Indeed, this commencement speech is an economic speech. It's just that economics, properly understood, is about inspiration, devotion, and humanity. And I want to encourage you all at this special occasion in your young adult lives to understand the most economically significant message you will ever hear. God made you in his image because he loves you. And because you are an image bearer of God, you were made to be a creator, a worker, and a producer. God, being triune in nature, is diverse. Created people, being diverse, do not all have to work in one occupation, in one place, for one income, in one career path, for one boss to one end. The miracle of markets is the facilitation of specialization in the workforce, what we call division of labor. But what properly understood is dynamism. And this is profoundly important because it has changed civilization, and it is a direct byproduct of creational truth. God not only made you to work and produce, but to reflect your own passions and skills, diverse passions and skills, in so doing. The world talks about diversity in a twisted and reductionist way, daring to reduce the diverse nature of mankind to race, gender, and class, and then daring to use those distinctions as a vehicle for struggle, for division, for resentment, and for hate. But the beauty of creation is that the most profound diversity we share as humans is in our respective interests, tastes, dreams, goals, skills, and aspirations. And in that diversity, your work endeavors now offer you the venue to develop and flourish. You do not need to think about your work as drudgery. You can see it for what it is, a daily vehicle for living in faithful obedience to your Creator, who made you to, like him, be creative and productive. I don't get enough time in this speech to give detailed and specific career advice, nor do I know any of you personally. I do know that it is hyper rare that one's first adult job is their dream job. Yet I do believe most people who one day find professional satisfaction do look back on their early jobs with fondness for the early stepping stone jobs that brought them to where they eventually arrive. Indeed, one of the great miracles of the market economy and of the creational economic foundations that give it birth is this: you can and will love the destination, but never as much as you love the journey. The story of being a producer and a creator is certainly taking satisfaction in what you do, also something we get as an image bearer of God, who repeatedly said that his work was good, as he reflected Genesis chapter 1, verses 4 and 10 and 12 and 18 and 21 and 25 and 31. But it is in the production and the creation itself that work makes us truly human. God made a lot of things, and all of them were good. We all benefit from the beauty of creation, these gorgeous mountains that surround us here in Pasadena, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the seas, the skies, the whole expanse of earth, and all of it was good. But I noted a moment ago God's subjective theory of value in calling all the aforementioned things he made good in verses 4, 10, 12, 18, 21, and 25. But he did not call the creation of humanity in verse 31 good. No, he called it very good. He did not refer to the animal kingdom as made in his image, because it was not. He did not impugn dignity into any part of creation but you. What makes us human, what separates us from all of creation, is that we are made in the image of God. And that image means we share certain attributes of God that the rest of creation does not. We are not omniscient, omnipresent, or omnipotent as God is. No, what we share with God our Father is essentially one particular thing: the role of being a creator in the world. We produce, we innovate, we solve problems, we add ideas to physical matter, and we change the world with it. We use our bodies, minds, and specific faculties to improve our own lives, the lives of those we love, and in that process, the lives of those around us. Humanity took the raw material of creation thousands of years ago and responded to a call that is really a mandate to cultivate, steward, and grow the earth. And we have extracted the potential from the actual of creation to the tune of life-changing conventions, goods, services, and ideas. We did this because we are special. We are dignified. We are image bearers of God because we are human. The human person sits at the center of economics because all economics is the study of the human person's allocation of scarce resources. I do not want to know the unemployment rate is 3.6% or 3.7%. I want to know the mind, heart, incentives, fears, moral agency, impediments, motivators for the individual human actor to flourish. Data is just a subsequent anecdote. Human action is the matter at hand. And graduates, today you sit at the most human of moments in your lives, the moment in which the next act of true productivity and creation come. It will involve sacrifice for many of you. It will involve profit and loss. It will involve risk and reward. It will involve pain and joy. Thanks be to God. But all of those things are long-winded ways of saying it is the human moment of your lives where you can be what God made you to be, a co-creator with him, a worker not to be ashamed, a diverse, unique, special, dignified part of the creation who simultaneously adds to his creation. I know theologically we can't do it ex nihilo as he did, but in our work, in our pursuit of enlightened and moral self-interest, in our endeavors to serve the needs of others, we do create. We find an existential meaning in work because God made us so. He made us human. You will never be a mere statistic to God, and for what it's worth, you will never be a mere statistic to me either. I am sure one way or the other, in the most minuscule of ways, you will be a number in a future labor participation study, BLS, jobs report, wage calculation. And I hope your contribution to those numbers is all positive. But as you celebrate your graduation today and look forward to a life of dignity and meaning, I do not offer you reach for the stars advice, the kind that makes most commencement speeches so cringeworthy, because the stars are too low of a reach anyways. After all, why settle for the stars when you represent the most special of all things created by God, which is humanity? Human beings whom God loves, people who God loved enough to make as workers in his image. May the years and decades of your life ahead be filled with the existential joy of this reality. Thank you very much.